What happens when two of the biggest internet personalities go from business partners to quietly throwing shots at each other online? Because whatever is going on between Alex Cooper and Alex Earl doesn't feel like random drama. It feels like something that started behind closed doors and slowly leaked out in ways neither of them can fully control anymore. And the strangest part is that nobody has actually explained what really happened. It all began with what looked like a massive power move. Back in 2023, Alex Earl joined Cooper's Unwell network to launch her podcast, Hot Mess. At the time, it looked like the perfect alignment. Cooper was already dominating the podcast space, and Earl was rising incredibly fast on social media. Together, it felt like the beginning of something huge, almost like they were about to take over the entire creator industry. But situations don't fall apart this quietly unless something goes wrong early, and not long after that deal, the energy started to shift in a way people couldn't ignore. Earle wasn't showing up to Unwell events the way people expected, and her presence within the network began to feel distant. Then suddenly, everything changed. Her podcast situation became unclear, and just like that, she was no longer part of it. There was no dramatic announcement, no clear explanation, just vague comments and one word that kept coming up again and again: messy. That was all the public got, and for the internet, that simply wasn't enough. When something ends that quickly, without a clear reason, people start asking questions. Some believed it might be about control. Others thought it could be tied to money, contracts, or even ownership of the podcast itself. There were rumors floating around about who really held the power behind Hot Mess, and whether Earl walked away completely on her own terms. Cooper did address part of this, saying Earl still owned everything related to her show, but even that didn't slow the speculation. The silence between them felt intentional. And when two people who used to work closely suddenly stop acknowledging each other, people notice.
I would honestly compare Alex Cooper to an ambulance chaser. Like, you just had the most horrific accident of your life. You're, hanging on by a thread, don't know if you're going to make it, and she's the first one there. And she's a Grim Reaper. She wants to get the exclusive interview. She wants to be there when you're vulnerable and you're broken down and you're ready to sign over your rights. And I wish that more women, celebrities, female athletes, reality stars, anyone who's a woman on planet Earth, I wish they would stop making that their first stop after something happens in their lives, because she is profiting off of women's heartaches and failures.
At first, it didn't look like drama. It looked like distance. But that distance slowly turned into something more. Earl began interacting with content that wasn't exactly supportive of Cooper. It started subtly, a like here, a repost there, nothing direct, but enough for people paying attention to pick up on the shift. Her sister even joined in, liking posts that hinted at tension. And then things escalated when Earl reposted a video that directly criticized Cooper, framing her as someone who benefits from people's vulnerable moments. That moment changed everything, because it was no longer subtle, it was a clear signal. It didn't take long for Cooper to respond, and when she did, she didn't hold back. She posted a video addressing Earl directly, calling her out in a way that felt bold and confrontational.
I am obviously seeing the videos, I'm getting tagged, I see the DMs, I see the comments. So at this point, it just feels long overdue. Alex Earl, hey girl. The passive aggressive reposts and the likes and the commenting on things, I gotta call you out here. You're gonna need to get specific and just say what you gotta say about me. There's no NDA, no one is stopping you. Stop hiding behind other people and just say it yourself. What's the beef? Because I'm really tired of waking up and seeing you using this fake drama to distract from other shit going online for you. Not interested. I know what happened, and so do you. So talk. Unless the fake narrative that you're creating happens to be way more interesting than the truth. I have nothing to hide when it comes to you and me. So unless you actually have something to say, I'm out. This is over. Have a good Monday, everyone.
She challenged her to stop hiding behind reposts and comments, and to say exactly what her issue was out in the open. Cooper made it clear there was no NDA stopping her, No restrictions, nothing preventing her from speaking. And then she added something that really caught attention. She suggested that Earle might be using this drama as a distraction, instead of addressing whatever the real issue actually is. That shifted everything, because now it wasn't just tension anymore, it was a direct confrontation. Naturally, people expected Earle to respond immediately, but that didn't happen. Instead, she posted a TikTok showing her reaction to Cooper's video in a casual setting with her friends, almost laughing it off and calling the situation embarrassing.
Hey guys. I don't usually address this kind of stuff because
Is it funny?
it feels like a waste of time, and honestly,
No.
it's embarrassing to participate in this to other people and just say it yourself. What's the beef?
Okay.
Really?
You okay? Guys, my fucking place. Wait, that just literally made my whole day.
She made it seem like she didn't even want to be part of it, which only made things more confusing. If the situation isn't serious, why does it keep coming up? And if it is serious, why not just explain it? That silence created a gap, and the internet filled it quickly. That's when outside voices began stepping in. Dave Portnoy entered the conversation, sharing what he had heard about the situation. According to him, the tension might come down to business, things like brand deals, opportunities, and money. The kind of issues that don't always explode publicly, but can quietly build over time.
That, unless something happened, I'd never heard of. I've asked Chicken Fry, she said the same thing. She's like, it's just brand deals and taking deals from each other. But is it taking deals when you're in the network?
He also mentioned that both Alexes used to share the same PR representative, and that relationship had changed, which added another layer to the story. Then things became even more complicated when Brianna Chicken Fry openly sided against Cooper. She made it clear she wasn't a fan anymore and hinted that she knew what really happened behind the scenes. At one point, she even suggested that Earle would eventually come forward and completely expose the situation. That's when this stopped feeling like simple internet drama, because now, people close to the situation were claiming they knew the truth, but still weren't saying it. Cooper responded once again, this time bringing receipts. She shared direct messages between her and Brianna, showing that their past interactions had been friendly and supportive, with no visible tension at all. That raised an even bigger question. If everything was fine before, what changed? Brianna explained that her opinion shifted after hearing things about Cooper, saying she used to like her until she learned more about how she allegedly behaves behind the scenes. But once again, there were no clear details, just implications. And that's what makes this entire situation so unusual. Everyone involved seems to be hinting at something deeper, but nobody is fully explaining it. Then, another wave of speculation hit, with online sources sharing alleged details about what might have happened. There were claims about uncomfortable moments during podcast recordings, claims about tension in their working relationship, and suggestions that certain situations made things difficult. But it's important to be clear here, these are rumors and unverified claims, not confirmed facts. Right now, the entire story is being built on fragments, reactions, hints, and secondhand information, rather than clear, direct explanations. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more chaotic, another theory started spreading. Some people began questioning whether this entire situation might actually be planned. They pointed out small details in Cooper's video that didn't match recent appearances, leading to speculation that it might have been pre-recorded. That raised the possibility of a PR stunt. But that idea doesn't fully hold up.
Okay, Alex Cooper just made a TikTok about me saying that she's not a mean girl because we had nice DMs before I found out everything about this girl. I work at Barstool, so Dave introduced me to Alex Cooper. I was a fan of Alex Cooper before I knew the wrath of Alex Cooper and what she does to people and how she treats people. I'm friends with Alex Earl. Alex Earl told me everything that transpired between those two 2 years ago at the Super Bowl. She told me everything. It didn't happen between them at the Super Bowl, but that's when she told me everything. You can go time check me. You can go stamp check me. I've said this on BFFs a million times. It's not my story to tell, so I didn't tell it. From what Alex Earl told me, Alex Cooper is a very, very mean person. Or maybe when Dave called me, when Alex signed Grace to Unwell, and she called Dave and said, I don't give a Grace, I don't give a Brianna, all I care about is making money. Yeah, maybe my narrative switched on you after I found things out about you. I used to be a fan, clearly I'm not anymore. I'm patiently sitting here and waiting for Alex Earl to come and say her side of the story. And that video that you made, that was Mean Girl 101.
The backlash Cooper is facing right now isn't exactly controlled or predictable, and it doesn't seem like the kind of attention someone would willingly create for promotion. So if it's not staged, then what is really going on? Here's what we actually know. Two people who used to work closely together are no longer connected. One of them is openly calling out the other, while the other responds indirectly without fully explaining anything. Meanwhile, people around them continue to hint at a deeper story without confirming it. That's not a normal fallout. That's something unresolved. And situations like this don't stay quiet forever. Eventually, someone speaks, and when they do, it usually changes everything. So the real question isn't just what happened between Alex Cooper and Alex Earl, it's who is going to say it first. Because until that happens, this story is far from over.